Welcome to G2G Ministries, and here are your Sunday morning announcements.
The Praxis Ministry Certificate Program starts back up for the fall semester. Praxis is a one-year training certificate program that helps train leaders that eventually lead and develop teams to do ministries that are relevant to this day and age. Classes in Tampa start October 27th, November 24th, and December 15th at G2G Ministries. Classes in Orlando start October 26th, November 23rd, and December 14th at the Altamont Springs Hilton Hotel. Classes start at 6:30 p.m. at each respective location. For more information, email murin.consultation@gmail.com. Our pastor continues to interview across this nation. He interviewed this week with Jane Carroll, Portland, Oregon; Michael Hart, Birmingham, Alabama; Grant Stinchfield, Dallas, Texas; Michael Cohen, Lansing, Michigan; Andy Caldwell, Santa Maria, California; and Steve Gruber, Michigan.
Cyclical. And I've had a big problem with this, and Pastor Shines, I got to be honest with you, and I told the audience, I tried to get in touch with the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. I tried to reach out to the Houston diocese, the Fort Worth, and the Dallas diocese. Nobody was either talking or nobody knew what was going on. I tell you, I have never had this experience inside my own faith where there's been such secrecy. But what we do know from the Pope's encyclical, and I want to read this to you and get your reaction. The encyclical says that governments need to think as, quote, one world with a common plan, end quote, saying that the individual nations may not always act in everyone's interest or have enforceable measures on their own. Now, I was reminded, and you're going to know this passage probably pretty well, Pastor Shines, Revelations 13. Quote, it was allowed to make war against the saints and conquer them, and given power over every race, people, language, and nation, and all people of the world will worship it. That is, everybody whose name has not been written down since the foundation of the world in the sacrificial Lamb's book of life. When you have a leader of the Catholic Church talking about a one world with a common plan, I'm sorry, those who have read Revelations, that should scare the hell out of everybody.
Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. And again, I think that a lot of people, they don't understand the uprising of this particular Pope here. And again, coming out of Argentina, anybody that's ever traveled, they'll get this. When you have been inundated in a particular environment, and I'm not saying this is right, Chris, but these are the things that happen when we are inundated in an environment, and that environment has a lot of social challenges. It's unfortunately sometimes too easy for us to capitulate to that social norm, not understanding that if we are divinely called to do something, we must transcend that norm. And I'll give this Pope a pass, even though I 100% disagree with him. Again, even the science on the whole issue of global warming, again, is suspect. These are the same group of scientists, by the way, just 20 years ago in the Newsweek magazine that was saying, you know what, we're all about to freeze to death, and the earth is about to go cold. And again, the impact on the poor that these horrible challenges would have as it relates to solar energy and et cetera. But for him to speak on it, and again, here's my real feelings, Chris, in a nutshell. If there's an encyclical of anything, how about the persecution of Christians that are in the Middle East? How
Amen.
about the raping that is going on among so many Yadis that are in the area of Iraq and those in a part of Boko Haram? Again, there's a lot of things that he could write about. I don't understand it. I have friends that are in the priesthood, in Catholicism, and I can tell you none of them that I know, not one of them have gone along with this idea that has happened. Again, I'll give them a pass on that, but boy, we better get back to a more moral compass in America, or Chris, we're all in trouble here.
No kidding. You know what? And I think the Pope has been listening to all the wrong people, as folks who are critics and have scientific refutation of the theory of man-made global warming have not been allowed in the Pope's presence. He's hearing from one side of the equation. Maybe that's why we're getting an encyclical like this.
As you can see, our bishop is being invited to more stations and events throughout this nation. Continue to pray for him as he advocates the foundation this nation was built on, God's Word.
Please rise for the morning hymn.